Once upon a time, in the busy city of Laura, there lived a man named Bab, known as the King of Money. He was consumed by his desire for wealth. Though hardworking, Bab always felt that his efforts were never enough. He wanted to be the richest man in the city, a true king of money. He craved the admiration of the city's elite and dreamed of living a life of luxury. One night, after years of feeling unsatisfied, Bab overheard a conversation at a local tavern about a powerful ritualist known for granting great wealth to those brave enough to seek him out. Desperate to fulfill his dreams, Bab tracked down the ritualist to a secret spot on the city's outskirts. Bab found himself at the ritualist's hidden shrine, a place full of dark whispers. The ritualist, a mysterious figure known only by reputation, welcomed Bab and promised him untold riches. But there was a sinister price to pay. You will gain unimaginable wealth, but for 7 years, every 7 days, you must sleep with a mad woman. You will never be able to look at her again once it's done, or the curse will strike early. Bab's greed clouded his judgment, and he barely registered the ritualist's final words. If you follow the rules, your wealth will stay. But if you go against them, your body will betray you. You will fall ill, and your flesh will decay with wounds that no healer can cure. Are you prepared to pay the price for this wealth? The warning hung in the air like a dark cloud, but blinded by his lust for fortune, Bab nodded, sealing his fate. With each forbidden encounter with the mad women, Bab's wealth began to grow. At first, his modest income transformed into a steady stream of money. But soon, it became more than just wealth, it became power. Each time he completed the ritual, his fortune multiplied. His small apartment was replaced by a luxury penthouse in the heart of the business district. Bab's riches quickly became the talk of the town. Gold, jewelry, and expensive suits filled his wardrobe. His neighbors gossiped about how quickly he had amassed such fortune, but Bab basked in their admiration, convinced that nothing could stop his success. As his wealth grew, so did Bab's ambitions. He bought multiple mansions in the city, each more impressive than the last, turning his life into one of luxury. His homes were filled with rare art, designer furniture, and priceless antiques, all reflecting his need for more. Bab also indulged in a fleet of luxury cars, Rolls-Royces, Ferraris, and Lamborghinis, which he flaunted around the city, drawing attention wherever he went. Not satisfied with his newfound status, he hired personal security guards to protect him, fearing someone might try to steal his fortune. His lavish lifestyle extended beyond the city. Bab began traveling abroad, enjoying luxurious vacations in exotic locations. Private jets and 5-star hotels became his norm, and he surrounded himself with people who admired his wealth. Yet, no matter how much he acquired, a deep emptiness grew inside him. As Bab's fortune grew, he purchased beautiful and grand mansions in the city's wealthiest neighborhoods. Each mansion was a symbol of his growing power, boasting grand architecture, lavish interiors, and sprawling gardens. These homes reflected his insatiable greed and served as barriers between him and the rest of society. Bab hired famous architects from around the world to design his homes, each more luxurious than the last. His mansions featured infinity pools, private theaters, marble floors, and gold-trimmed furniture. Every inch of his properties screamed excess and wealth. These architectural marvels symbolized the hollow core of his ambition and mirrored his personal downfall. Bab's obsession with cars became legendary. He filled his garages with the world's most expensive cars, Ferraris, Rolls-Royces, and Bugattis. He loved being seen driving these luxury vehicles, basking in the admiration of others. His fleet of luxury cars became an extension of his ego, leading to reckless behavior. Not satisfied with just a few homes, Bab began buying properties around the world, penthouse suites in exclusive skyscrapers, beach houses on private islands, and chalets in luxury mountain resorts. His real estate empire spanned continents, reflecting his emptiness and serving as prisons of his own making. Bab spared no expense designing his ultimate dream home, a massive estate on the city's outskirts. It featured private lakes, manicured gardens, and a driveway lined with imported trees. Inside, there were crystal chandeliers, rare artwork, and vast hallways. This extravagant home represented Bab's need to project success, and its eventual decay mirrored his personal collapse. Bab frequently hosted lavish parties in his mansions, inviting the city's elite to show off his wealth. These events featured fine dining, live music, and entertainment, where Bab basked in the admiration of his guests. These grand parties inflated Bab's ego while masking his growing paranoia and loneliness as his life spiraled out of control. Not satisfied with just owning luxury cars, Bab became obsessed with customizing each one to reflect his unique taste. He added gold-plated rims, custom interiors, and personalized license plates, ensuring each car was a statement of his wealth. This need to customize everything in his life reflected his growing disconnect from reality and signaled the unraveling of his empire. Bab's love for luxury cars knew no bounds, leading him to acquire an entire fleet of the latest models. His collection included vintage classics, sports cars, and even a custom limousine with a full bar and entertainment system. His private fleet represented his desire to dominate not only the road but also the admiration of those around him, pushing him further into isolation. With a mansion in nearly every wealthy district, Bab employed personal chauffeurs at each one. These chauffeurs drove him around the city in his luxury cars, waiting on his every whim. Bab's demand for such personalized service revealed his obsession with control and superiority, fueling his growing paranoia as he lost touch with reality. To further show off his wealth, Bab decided that one wife was not enough. He began marrying multiple wives, each more beautiful than the last, as trophies of his success. The weddings were extravagant events attended by city elites, dressed in their finest attire. Bab lavished each wife with expensive gifts, from diamond necklaces to designer wardrobes. However, his marriages were not built on love but rather on his desire to flaunt his riches. His wives, once enamored by the luxuries he provided, soon grew resentful, realizing they were mere status symbols in his empire of wealth. Rivalries and jealousy flourished, yet Bab remained indifferent, more concerned with acquiring new assets. The years passed quickly, and Bab's empire grew beyond his expectations. But as the 7th year approached, a sense of dread began to settle in. On the final night of the ritual, Bab sought out the last mad woman, as he had done many times before. But this time, something went wrong. As he approached her, ready to complete the final ritual, the mad woman, crazed and unpredictable, broke free and escaped into the night. Bab gave chase through the city's narrow streets, but she vanished into the shadows. Panic set in as he realized what this meant: the ritual was incomplete. The curse had begun. In the days following the failed ritual, Bab's body began to betray him. A fever gripped him, his skin burned, and he grew weaker by the day. Soon, dark, festering wounds appeared on his flesh, spreading across his once healthy body. No healer could explain his mysterious sickness, and none could cure him. The wealth that once brought him joy began to fade as his health deteriorated. His once strong voice turned hoarse, barely more than a whisper, and his vision clouded as the sickness took hold. The mad women he had once used for his rituals now haunted his dreams, their shadowy figures cursing him for the suffering he had caused. As Bab's condition worsened, his wealth became meaningless. He spent vast sums on doctors and priests, desperately seeking a cure. But no amount of gold could save him. The grand mansions he owned fell into disrepair, and his luxury cars collected dust. His loyal servants abandoned him, stealing whatever valuables remained before fleeing his crumbling empire. In the end, Bab was left alone in his once grand mansion, a hollow shell of the man he had been. His body, covered in festering wounds, withered away. The very wealth he had sacrificed so much for had become meaningless in the face of the curse that now consumed him. Plagued by unrelenting pain, Bab's mind began to unravel. He ranted and raved, pleading for forgiveness from unseen forces, his voice echoing through the empty halls of his mansion. The few neighbors who dared to visit claimed to hear eerie wails and unsettling laughter from within his home. Even those who had once envied him now pitied him as they watched his final descent into madness. At last, death came for Bab, not as a tragedy, but as a release from the torments he had brought upon himself. His story became a cautionary tale whispered throughout the city. Dear viewer, if you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.